I can't help but also draw a comparison, Kavaljit, to Ramana Gandhi, the outgoing president's journey as well. And what's happened here in the last few years is that the president's post, the highest constitutional post of the country, let's take this away from political symbolism for a moment, but talk about the symbolism to the country, to the citizens, and the messaging it sends across. When you have someone from the ADIVASI community being made the president of the country, or similarly the messaging that was sent across with Ramana Gandhi also being made the president 5 years ago.
Well, from a Dalit leader to a scheduled tribe and an Adivasi leader, so that is where things really come from. But it's not just about the leader per se. She does have acumen because she's risen from the ranks. So right from the time that she was an irrigation officer to the point where she was a teacher, so there is a messaging. A lot of people will say that as far as the president is concerned, it's the prime minister who really draws in a lot of power. But the president plays a very important role as the caretaker of the constitution to ensure that she acts as a bridge between the marginalized section as well as the common person to ensure that the country is united together, to also ensure that as far as the states, we've seen several opposition leaders walk and march towards Droupadi Bhavan. So that effort to placate the opposition also now actually relies on the president. She ensures that there are several meetings, she's representative when she goes abroad. So very clearly, a lot of tasks at hand, but this is obviously a larger messaging, right from a Dalit to now a scheduled tribe and a Adivasi leader. This is also a strong messaging, and that is where a lot of people actually cross-voted, as I mentioned to you earlier. That is where the real strength, the real power and respect really comes from. That's the people who actually rooted for her. There are leaders who actually cross-voted for her. Also a symbolism of power. But clearly, when it comes to the task, she will not only be the president during 2024, but for the next 5 years, also enunciate what the policy is going to be. She's the leader of the armed forces, so in that particular sense, as a chief, how things are going to go on, this is where things are really drawn. But clearly, at this point of time, a sense of empowerment for all the marginalized, and that is why the sing-song, the celebration, all the Adivasis coming out in full color and the tribal attire, that is to celebrate the rise of a common from a marginalized section to somebody in the corridors of power, to ensure that somebody of that sense is taking power and give a sense of empowerment to various sections of the society.
And this can only happen in India, truly. As we track all the latest that comes in, there'll be a lot of focus, Kamaljeet, on the address by Droupadi Murmu, officially for the first time to the nation once she's taken oath as the president. And there's going to be a lot of focus on what her message is going to be to the Adivasi community, to her community as well, because, that's where the real test begins, to see what she really does for the community, to uplift them, to uphold their culture, to preserve their culture. That's where the real test lies for President-elect Droupadi Murmu.
Well, definitely, several challenges right now, but clearly we're expecting her to return to her residence at any point of time. You see the security protocol has been put in outside her residence as well. We can try and show you these X-ray machines have come up, and this is where the baggage gets checked just before anybody really goes inside. We'll just try and get you a sense, but yes, we can hear the security personnel whistling. That is a clear indication that the pilot vehicle along with the convoy of the president is expected to arrive, return from Raj Ghat, where she has paid tributes to the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, point of symbolism. Also because Mahatma Gandhi stood for the marginalized sections of society, and this is how things really stand at 5.9. So a countdown has begun. Remember, after a brief stay right here, she's going to go to Rashtrapati Bhavan, and that is where the ceremonial function will take place, and the 21 guns will go off. And if the weather really permits, because remember, it is inclements, there is an overcast sky, but hopefully it is not going to rain. And thereafter, she will go from Rashtrapati Bhavan to the Parliament, where the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, along with the Vice President Venkaiah Naidu, are going to actually go along with her, receive her and take her to the Central Hall, and that is where she actually is sworn in as the 15th President of India. A great messaging, a great symbolism. Just try and get you a sense of what is happening right here. Just about a few marigold layers that we see just outside of the gates.